Hi there, this is Jessica from Jessica Adele Consulting Services. I've taken on board your feedback and I'm keeping this video very short. In today's segment, we'll be looking at knowing your attachment style. Do you know what your attachment style is? In this video, we'll be talking about attachment styles and the benefits of knowing and being aware of what your attachment style is. Knowing your attachment style is very important because it affects the way you see and you experience the world and remember and think about life. Identifying your attachment style can help you understand why exactly do you relate to people the way you do in your current relationships. It's also good insight into your behavior if you're going through any relationship conflict. And I think most importantly, it helps you identify if you have any unmet needs that are directly linked to your childhood, which could be impacting on your current relationships. One thing once that struck with me when I was listening to a lecturer, that I think it was a scholar who made it very clear that when you're in a relationship, there's always four people. I'm talking about a monogamous relationship. There's four people in your monogamous relationship. Can you guess who? So it's you and your partner, obviously, and your inner child and your partner's inner child. That's why it's very important to know and be aware of what happened in your childhood and if there's anything there that needs to be cleared, any relationship patterns that could be playing out for you. All right, so knowing your attachment style gives you some insight into your current relationships, and it helps you understand, for instance, why do you keep going back to that person who's really bad for you, or why do you keep falling for a type of person who keeps rejecting you, and other relationship prototypes as well. So the literature commonly identifies four types of attachment styles, a link to how you related to your primary caregivers and their parenting styles in childhood. So these attachment styles play out in our adulthood life and also in our current relationships if we're not aware and if we don't face them or try to deal with them and work on better coping mechanisms or improving the current circumstances at hand. The four attachment styles are secure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and unresolved attachment. Unresolved attachment is also, you see it referenced as disorganized attachment or fearful attachment. So now I'll go through these very briefly so that you can try to place where your inner child or your younger self fits in here. Also have a look at the diagram there. The first attachment style is secure attachment. These are the type of people that are very secure in themselves and they've come to believe that at present they can really influence the world through their own efforts, and back in childhood and now they had that belief and that innate reliability where they can go back home to the family where they experience a sense of safety and security and a sense of belonging. These people with secure attachment are usually comfortable with asking other people for support when they need support. And their inner child, back in childhood, learned to trust people and to rely on their parents primarily. As I said, to go back to the home for nurturing, for care and that support. These type of people have accurate expectations of others in life and usually in relationships. And the sort of links into childhood where, say, for instance, the younger child there had his mother. The mother returned home when she was angry and stressed and was experiencing problems at work, a bad day at work. And then the child in that position was able to understand that mommy is angry and upset because of her work. Because she had a bad day at work, and the sadness and anger is not about me, the child. And that's usually related and attributable to the fact that the mother communicated that clearly to the child. The next three types of attachments are commonly classified under the category of insecure attachments. Persons who exhibit anxious attachment, usually the researchers say that's the case because the inner child experienced inconsistent parenting, and that could be a main contributing factor to where sometimes the parent was nurturing towards the child and really attuned to the child, but in other times, in other situations, the parent was completely emotionally unavailable and insensitive at times. So as a result of that, the child with an anxious attachment would grow up a bit confused because the child couldn't really make sense of the parent's behavior. It wasn't consistent and the child wouldn't really know what to expect out of the parent's behavior. Anxious attachment style in adults can manifest as clinginess towards others in relationships, and also being overly dependent in relationships on others, and constantly requiring frequent reassurances, say from your partner or from other people, that they care about you. And also, that's also linked to the fact that people in that context were very overly sensitive towards the parents' actions and moods. Adults of an anxious attachment style can have a difficulty in trusting others, and they may also worry that, say, their partner will abandon them, or the person they're with in a relationship would leave them and run away. Anxious attachment is also attributed to a lower self-worth. And the next type of attachment style is avoidant attachment, where here in childhood, the child learned it really cannot depend on its parents for either emotional support, physical support, and for psychological support. So it couldn't get its needs met as a child from its parents. Essentially, that's because the parents were unavailable and they were unavoidant. They were avoidant parents. In the person's adult life here, the person experiences some type of paralysis where they so want to be loved, but they also have that deep fear of abandonment where they want to go in a relationship, but they really worry that the other person will leave them and abandon them. And usually in the person's adult life, the person with an avoidant attachment generally mistrusts other people and they don't really rely on people to get their needs met. And the last style is unresolved or disorganized attachment style. It's also referred to in the literature as fearful attachment. Here, the child would have experienced some type of an abusive relationship with their primary caregivers. As a child in that situation, you may have feared your primary caregiver and you just probably felt very unsafe around your parents. Here again, the adult person really craves the emotional intimacy with others, but also feels safer being on their own, because that way they know that they won't get hurt. So this unresolved attachment can be also a combination of avoidant and anxious attachment styles. So I hope by now you are able to place yourself in one of those attachment style diagrams. Is it your fault if you don't feel secure in your relationships? And if you have those insecure types of attachments? Of course not. Should we get angry at our parents for making us adopt these insecure attachment styles, for basically failing us with their caregiving in childhood? I'll leave that question up to you. You do have to feel your feelings and experience whatever comes up for you. But I suppose there's always a need to put a limit on it and a boundary for how long that those feelings are to prolong in your adult life. Most importantly, we need to remember that we did the best that we could in the circumstances that we have been dealt with, whether that's in childhood and up to this point. And after reaching a point of acceptance, there's a lot of room for healing, and there can be a lot of work done on working towards the possibility of secure attachment styles in yourself and in your relationships with other people. So don't let anyone tell you you can't overcome any of those attachment styles. Don't let anyone tell you you cannot overcome any of those unmet needs. That's just false. You can learn, you can practice, and you can develop new ways to connect through self-awareness, therapy, and experiencing new healthy relationships. So I'm going to post a link for you to take a quiz also at the bottom. If this didn't help for you to discover your attachment style, I'll post it here, the link at the bottom. And with that, we will part ways. Thank you for listening to this video. If you did enjoy it and if you thought it's beneficial, then please like it, share it, and also subscribe to my channel. That helps me know that you're interested, and that way I can deliver more content. Thank you for listening and have a good day.